have been tilling this field of improving education and society by working with parents, students, teachers, and community residents around the country for the past 2 decades. Rothstein has a doctorate in education from Harvard, but has committed himself to learning from people far from power and with limited education. Santana, who traveled a path that included emigrating from Puerto Rico to moving from being a welfare recipient to working on a factory floor to getting a master's degree, has committed herself to teaching others how to help themselves instead of becoming the spokesperson on their behalf. This book is not their first breakthrough, but is a landmark, a bringing together of years of research and experience into a methodology for applying their groundbreaking thought and technique. There are several reasons to listen to this book. One is it so strongly inspires hope, something desperately needed in a world where we face so many overwhelming challenges. Hope is what keeps us looking for ways to solve these challenges, to bring about peace in the world, or to end the stranglehold of poverty. We hope to find a new path, a Northwest Passage, another way to solve a problem. I would posit that hope lives in the mind and grows in thoughtful dialogue with itself and others, and that sometimes springs from figuring out what questions we need to ask. This book, therefore, gives us a way not only for students to learn how to generate questions, but also, in the process, gives us hope and strength for moving forward in the hard work of making education work better for all students. All students will benefit, including those who already excel at answering questions, but not necessarily asking them. Beyond helping those who are currently deemed successful, the Question Formulation Technique is a powerful tool that addresses the urgent need to improve education for students in struggling schools and districts. We must invest in the capacity of all students to think more clearly and more deeply, to learn more, and to feel greater ownership of their own learning. These are the skills and habits of mind of successful learners, and they should not be restricted to students in elite institutions. This book can help make the case that deliberately teaching the skill of question formulation can also lead to the goal of greater academic achievement as set by the Common Core state standards. Make just one change allows students to discover just how powerful it is to ask questions as a way to guide their own learning. The inspiring examples of students and teachers in this book push me to ask my own questions. Why wouldn't we teach an essential, powerful, important, and robust skill to all students? Why would we want to keep it from them? The strength of the nation is tied to the intellectual competency and capacity of our people. If we commit to a vision of all students learning to ask their own questions, and by doing so, becoming more self-directed and successful learners, we now have a book that shows us how to turn that vision into reality. Wendy D. Purifoy, President, Public Education Network. Introduction. Why didn't I learn this in school? This book makes 2 simple arguments. All students should learn how to formulate their own questions. All teachers can easily teach this skill as part of their regular practice. The inspiration for the first argument came from an unusual source. Parents in the low-income community of Lawrence, Massachusetts, with whom we were working 20 years ago, told us that they did not participate in their children's education nor go to their children's schools because they didn't even know what to ask. It turns out that they were actually pointing to a glaring omission in most formal and informal educational enterprises. The skill of being able to generate a wide range of questions and strategize about how to use them effectively is rarely, if ever, deliberately taught. In fact, it has too often been limited to students who have access to an elite education.